That's Kayla Mitchell at the CBC Weather Center. It's now 15 minutes after 8 o'clock. You're listening to Island Morning on CBC Radio 1. Yesterday on the show, we heard from two Island participants in the fundraiser that's known as the Big Swim. There are more than 60 participants in that swim, which will be happening across the strait, as mentioned on Sunday. Logan Heyman, though, beating them to the water by about a day. The Summerside native will be getting his feet wet tomorrow in hopes of building momentum for a new event that he'd like to see grow over the next number of years. He's calling it the Moonshiner Swim, and he joins us in the studio now to talk about it. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. About a year ago, we were talking to you about your first attempt across the strait.
Yeah, so things have changed over the last year. I'm still wearing the loss from 2015. I had to tap out after about 6 hours last year.
What happened exactly?
I was prepared. I thought I had it. My kayaker and myself made a run for it to Prince Edward Island, and 6 hours in, I back seized up and my legs crapped out, and I had to shut her down.
That was the end of it.
That was it.
So what did you learn though from that first attempt? I mean, physically at least.
Physically, it was actually a lot of the learnings mentally that came back to me was one is to keep my circle very tight and not to have a lot of negative feedback. So this time I flew right into Prince Edward Island, right to my mother's in Hunter River. And other than my kayaker and my best friend, those are the only people I'm talking with in the next 2 days before I try, or till I try tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I was just spending all day in an airplane. Probably not the best thing to do 2 days before a swim. Is the way it worked out?
Yeah, well, I come from Vancouver, so I'm actually gaining 4 hours this time, so it's not bad.
I suppose that's it. How have you been training over the last year? As you say, you've got that BC weather, which is a little better than here.
You know, well, my first crack at it last year was I was downtown Toronto, so I only had a pool and whatever times I could get into the lake. So this time I'm right down in Stanley Park in Vancouver, so I got the ocean training right at my front door.
Yeah, your front door is literally on the water.
So I'm living on a little houseboat, an old 49 vintage wooden boat, so literally jump off the back of the boat and do my training.
Really?
Yeah. And
how long have you been training, and how much training have you been putting in for this one?
I mean, I'm pretty swamped with work at the same time, but I do quite a bit of training year-round, but I kind of shift gears when the weather gets nicer. It gives me an excuse to get out of the gym and get into the water and do some more, cardio stuff.
You've got a video online, a pretty ambitious plan for this swim.
Yeah, so we got some big goals. So seeing a little room for opportunity. So basically the mission for the whole event is to have the biggest economic, spiritual, and social impact on Prince Edward Island as humanly possible. Some kind of North Star guiding points that we want are 2,000 international athletes by 2020. So, and some of the other things that make us unique than some of the other competitive swims are that all our efforts are going to be focused on giving back to Prince Edward Island.
But you see, this is a time-based event as opposed to just simply getting across the strait. If you're bringing competitive athletes to the island.
Yeah, so there needs to be a little bit more internal discussion. So this year is very much just kind of an exploratory year, just kind of mapping out all the processes and procedures that kind of need to be put in place to make the foundation that it's going to support a world-class swim of 2,000 international athletes. So very much just making all the notes on all the pain points and just kind of very detailed, what needs to be put in place in order to be able to support that many swimmers.
Why the Moonshiner Swim? Why'd you pick the name Moonshine?
Well, we were kind of bouncing around some ideas, and what came out of it was, trying to have the biggest social impact on Prince Edward Island as humanly possible. And, I mean, there's no beating around the bush that, the old booze has held a guy back every now and then, especially with, the Islanders and kind of having this ideology of being, a heavy drinking community and priding themselves in that. So the idea is kind of break out from, your drinking buddies, get out, meet some buddies that aren't your regular crowd, get out working your body, set a challenge that, challenges you and for personal development. And at the same time, getting you off, living a more healthy life for the month or 2 months leading up towards the swim. So, some of the key sponsors we're looking for 2017 are, like Beck's non-alcoholic beer, or Budweiser also has a new Prohibition beer. So those are kind of some of the targets for 2017 for sponsorships.
Maybe not that kind of party, but a party nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So do you see like a multi-day event built around this?
Yeah, so one of the big, values that we've identified that one of the core values that we want for the swim is, the sense of community and giving back. So as much as the swim is valuable, so is the organization or the party afterwards. So this year's after party, we're naming it the Swashbuckler, is at my mother's in Hunter River. So it's I think very much a potluck, lots of acoustics, just a real good, feel good community party, and then hopefully as the years progress, we can expand that out to a larger event.
Where can people learn more about your thoughts?
So if you go to www.moonshinerswim.com, if you're a yacker, a swimmer, a volunteer, or a sponsor, and you want to get involved for 2017. You can just log your name and your email address. We currently, right now, I think we've got over 25 names logged for 2017. So we're just trying to map out everybody that's interested, and then once the dust settles here in September, October, reevaluate everything and try to put the right pieces together to make this puzzle work for 2017.
Back's feeling good?
Back's feeling good. I got my fins in the car right now. Me and my legendary kayaker Charlie Skierman are going to go out for our last test run here today.
And then tomorrow, how long do you think it'll take you to cross the strait?
I don't know. I tend to go through these dips, and flows of optimism, but I'm hoping I can get it wrapped up in under 8 hours. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for telling us about it, and good luck as you continue to organize this particular event.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate any help in getting the word out as I can.
No trouble at all. Logan Heyman is the founder of the Moonshiner Swim. He's going to attempt it, a solo swim tomorrow, and who knows what can happen over the next number of years. It's 21 minutes now after 8 o'clock. We have a temperature of 19 degrees in Charlottetown.
That was great.
There we go, man.
That was
That was
fun.
great. What?
That was fun.
It wasn't too painful, eh? Thanks so much for coming in. Sorry I didn't get a chance to get out and see you, but
No worries, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
it's such a busy time.
I
So.
was just.
Do you think the water temperature might affect you, seeing as you've been swimming out west?
Yeah, well, the temperatures last year was a big deal. This year it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is.
Just kind of wait and see how it goes. Yeah.